All right, so there's been a lot of talk about this refugee resettlement office that's going to be opening up in the Poughkeepsie area. On the phone with us this morning, we've got representatives from Church World Service who are opening up the office. We've got the Senior Director of Programming, Sarah Kraus, and Rogine Ford, who is the Director for the Eastern Region. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, hi. All right, so tell us a little bit about what Church World Service is and what you guys do. Let's get started that way.
Sure. Church World Service is a faith-based agency that works internationally but also locally. I'm hoping that folks that are listening in know about our crop hunger walks. We do that every year. This is one of the biggest crop hunger walk locations in the nation. Last year, we raised about $10,000 that stays local in the Poughkeepsie community. We also obviously operate refugee resettlement offices, and that's what we're hoping to start up in the area.
Okay, so I know a lot of people there's a lot of information online. A lot of people, this has become like a political issue. Who is going to be using these services when you open up the office in Poughkeepsie?
Sure. So refugees are those that have been forced to flee their homeland due to a fear of persecution based on their race, religion, national origin, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. And I know because of what we have seen on TV in Europe, folks have this idea of people just kind of flooding in, and that's not the way the U.S. program works. It's a very structured program. So we actually know the individuals that will be coming in before they arrive, and we can help to plan for that arrival.
That seems to be the main concern with most of the listeners have been writing on Facebook and talking to us online about how these people are vetted that are coming into our country. Can you explain a little bit how it's different from Europe as it is the people that are going to be coming to Poughkeepsie?
Absolutely. So the security process is incredibly thorough, but I think there are a few things that are important to note. The first is that less than 1% of the world's refugee population has the opportunity to resettle to a third country like the United States. And for those that are referred to the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program, and that happens by the United Nations, those that are referred to a third country, they don't actually get to choose which country they go to. The United Nations makes that determination and actually just gives the referral to the U.S. government. And then the U.S. government starts a very thorough screening process. Refugees are actually the most vetted of any traveler coming to the United States, and not just any immigrant coming to the United States, but any traveler, even more so than someone visiting from Germany. It's a process that involves biometrics, multiple interviews, and security agencies like the National Counterterrorism Center, other members of the intelligence community, the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and Department of State. And again, the information that we have about the refugees, which is just information about their families, what they've done for a living, that we actually are receiving. We have that information prior to the refugees' arrival, and then we at our headquarters make a determination as to the best place for those refugees in the United States. We consult with our local offices, like the office that we're hoping to start in Poughkeepsie, to see if they feel confident to provide service to that particular refugee family. And if they do, we assure the case there, and then they begin to plan for that family's arrival. And it's a very structured process. We actually greet the refugees at the airport, hopefully with welcoming members of the community, and help them to kind of settle into their new life. I think it's also important for listeners to know that refugees have a legal status in the United States. Refugee is the legal status, and that entitles them to begin work as soon as they arrive to the U.S. And after a year, they can adjust their status to permanent resident, where they'll get their green card, and after 5 years, they can become citizens.
Now, how many offices do you actually have right now in the United States?
Sure. CWS is one of 9 resettlement agencies, and we have 34 offices across the United States. And amongst the 9 agencies, there are actually 350 offices.
Now, will you, do these offices actually help place people in jobs as well?
We do. That's an important part of the process. We're hoping to start a program called the Matching Grant Program, which is an early self-sufficiency program. and that gives the family a job developer who will be making outreach to area employers to help partner them with employment opportunities through that program. If we can just brag for a second, 85% of the refugees that we have enrolled to that program are employed and self-sufficient within 180 days after their arrival to the U.S., which is really incredible. The focus of the U.S. program is on self-sufficiency, and that's hammered home from before the refugees even get to the United States. We're very welfare protected in this country, and that's a good thing. And the expectation is that refugees will become employed and start contributing back to their communities as soon as possible. They'll be paying taxes just like the rest of us.
Now, I know that's another concern that a lot of people have. It's like, we have a lot of veterans. We have a lot of people that we need to take care of here already. Now, the people that are coming in, they have like jobs and they have skills and things from where they're coming from, right?
They do. Refugees are eligible for public benefits when they first arrive, but essentially as soon as they start working, they'll no longer be eligible to receive those public benefits. And for those folks that's not something that they want, many of our refugees were, they had good professions in their home countries. Some of them were doctors, some were farmers, some were drivers. They could have any number of positions. It takes time for them to rebuild their employment history in the United States, but what we focus on in talking with the refugees is that the key to self-sufficiency is early employment, and we want them to get jobs right away. I think back to one of the first refugees that I resettled like 15 years ago, and I remember asking him, what is your hope for your life in the United States? What do you want to be? And he said, I'll do whatever you need me to do. I just need a job. And I'm like, yeah, but eventually, what do you hope for? And he said, if you need me to pick up trash, I'll pick up trash. So folks really are focused on rebuilding their lives. I mean, they want to have that opportunity again.
All right. So now, what is the time frame with this office opening in Poughkeepsie? I know it was just announced. Is this something that's going to be happening in the next months? Is it the next year?
Yeah, it will likely happen in the next few months. We need to make certain that the community is ready. One of the important parts of our processes is just mapping out resources and making sure that we know all of the folks with whom the refugees are going to be interacting. And Rosine actually can talk a little bit about some of the conversations that we've had already in the community. Well,
I was going to ask you, maybe Rosine can talk about that. I know there's an information session that's going to be happening on Thursday, and that's actually been moved, right? It's going to be in a bigger venue now?
Exactly, yes. We received overwhelming response for people wanting to attend. So we were able to connect with a local church who's been partnering with us since the beginning of this, and it will be at the Christ Episcopal Church on Carroll Street.
All right, and that's Thursday. What time on Thursday is that?
Yes, it's this Thursday, November 10th. It's going to be from 5 to 6:30, and there's going to be an interfaith prayer service following it from 7 to 8. And we hope that people are able to come, ask questions, get answers, and connect as a community.
All right. Well, look, I appreciate what you guys are doing, and hopefully people will, learn the facts and make, decisions for themselves and welcome these people with open arms because, they need it for sure, what they've been going through. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.